Hi, this is Chris with IPGRentals.com, and today we're going to talk about the Caddie Buddy Teleprompter. Let's check it out. So what I have in front of me right now is the Caddie Buddy Teleprompter, which is a fantastic little device for small to medium-sized cameras. But before we really get into the ins and outs of it, let's just talk about what the teleprompter is. A teleprompter is a way for talent to be able to read a script, relatively probably an more elaborate script than just 2 sentences long, without making it look like they're reading off either the bottom, the top, left, or the right of the screen, and their eyes are not moving or darting with something to make it look a little more genuine. So this is a really budget-friendly way to do that. Prompters, big studio prompters, there's two cons about them. Number one, they're extremely expensive. And number two, they're relatively hard to balance on a camera because they go so front heavy. So you find yourself, unless the camera's really, really hefty on the back, you find yourself being more front heavy. So this actually takes care of both of those problems. So right here we have our A7S with our 16-35 lens on it. And just to give you an idea of how this thing actually works, you're going to put something on here. It could be an iPad, it could be a phone, it could be any little tablet device up to 12 inches long and 8 inches wide that will reflect a script back up to this mirror right here, and that mirror will show back to somebody, and you will not be able to see it on this actual the camera that's capturing the footage. So before we even start, I wanted to just talk to you about apps that you can use and that you can download. What we have and what I downloaded this morning, I went through a huge number of apps. You got to pay for most of them for the non-light versions, but I did find one that's very simple and it's free, and it's called Teleprompter. Very simple, it's just a blue screen with a white background. That one is free, and it has the mirroring ability because you need to be able to mirror this for this to work, because if you just put the prompter down without mirroring it or reversing it, it's actually going to come up backwards on this screen. So before we go into the app, let's just talk about the design here. It'll actually come in 2 pieces. It'll come just this, the glass right here, and then the tray for your devices, and then it'll come with the rods and the mounting system. So let's talk about the mounting system first. Again, it's more designed for smaller cameras. There's not a whole lot of room. So because cameras are getting better and better every day, that's not really an issue. And because of the versatility that you have to be able to move this, you can move this all the way down. So if you do have a C300 or C500 camera in here, you can put this down, with the ability to still have things a little bit higher, especially when you cover it with the shroud, which I'll show you in 1 second. So for this one, we'll probably put it somewhere in the medium realm right here. And then you're going to want to move this closer to the glass, as close as you can get it to the glass. Now you do have another option here for balancing. I'm going to turn this right here. You do have another option for balancing. I'm going to move it back just a little bit here. There's another little clamp right here, and you can actually move the entire system forward or backward again. So it's actually not, it's a breeze to be able to balance this thing, and this is a very light duty tripod. So as you can see, let me go ahead and take this off. So it's coming back a little bit. So all I got to do is just move it forward. And obviously a little more tweaking would need to be done, but it's got a relatively good static balance to it. So as you can see, we've got our multifaceted levels of being able to put the camera in the position it needs to be put into. And so now I'm going to turn it, and let's put the shroud on. So what's great is this comes with a shroud that has a stiffening material here in the very front, and that stiffening material allows you to be able to cover the lens but not have this material sag down into the lens that could block it. So this has Velcro right here, Velcro on the top. So we're going to put this right over the top right there. And because of that, again, because of that material, now I'm going to go ahead and move it forward just a little bit to get that as close as I can. And then I'm going to put it right here. So I'll come up underneath, and the whole trick of this also is to be sure that you don't see anything else behind. So we'll go ahead and put the shroud in like here, put the shroud in there, and we pretty much have nothing except you can see some of the lens. Now, I do have relatively bright key lights coming in here right now, which means you are seeing a little more of that lens than you would commonly see, because generally our cameras are more in the dark. Talent's going to be more in the front. So you will pretty much see nothing inside of here because, again, behind the camera, behind the lights, you're not going to see much. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this app on. And I've gone ahead and loaded in an old Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall vintage speech from President Reagan. And so you can go ahead now, as I start it, you can go ahead and see the prompter starting to happen here. Now again, you're getting a little more reflectivity than you would commonly because the light is hitting it. But from there, you have yourself a perfectly working prompter and the app that I told you to get, which is one of the only free, fully functional ones in the App Store. And pretty much that's it. It's as simple as that. Like I said before, you could have different screens in here, up to 12 inches in diameter and up to 8 inches in height. You could even put your phone. Now again, your phone's going to be small, but you know, if you're in a pinch and you need a prompter and you need a screen on there, it's actually a lifesaver. And you can see this whole thing, it doesn't really take up much of a footprint either. It's not a massive setup. It's actually pretty darn small, and you know what we do is we feed a little monitor out so we can see, you know, exactly how this looks. But for the size of it and for its duty, it's a very small footprint and a very good setup. Every Monday at 9 a.m. we drop a new video with tips and tricks about the gear that we offer to make you as confident as possible in your shoot. So please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, our gear, your vision, IPGRentals.com.